Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Twisted Guidance Tarot. I am Poetry. You are here for your Saturday positive affirmation video. Give me a second. Put some smoothness on my lips. Okay, so if you're from my other channel, my Twisted Life TV, you already know how I do. Ride to work, I talk, and that's it. So on my tarot channel, I ride to work on Saturdays and give you tarot readings or oracle readings. Oh, this smells so good. I feel like plummy, like cranberry-ish and grape-ish today. What is this? I don't know what it is, but it smells awesome. Okay. Leak out of my driveway. So thank y'all for being here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please feel free to do so. I'd like to give my disclaimer. Driving in your car while reading anything is not safe to do. I know I'm doing it. Don't you do it yourself. All right? So like I say, on Saturdays, I try to give a positive affirmation video. But I woke up this morning, y'all, in a mood. I'm not feeling bad, just feeling in a mood. And I realized, like, I have been sleeping what I call upside down in my bed, which means I've been sleeping at the foot of the bed for the past few days. I'm not sure exactly how long, but I recognized it probably about 5 or 6 days ago. And I was like, what the heck? So I started documenting this, I think, last year when I did it for the first time, when I actually recognized it. It smelled like cinnamon. It's like giving me a cinnamon burst. And like, it's really opening up my senses, but it's like, it's a powerful cinnamon burst. It smells lovely. 7:36. Okay, I gotta be at work at 8, so I'm gonna be late. So I started documenting, and I noticed now, because I didn't know this before, that every time I go through this sleep habit where, one, I'm having insomnia, or I can't even call it insomnia. I go to sleep really early in the evening, like around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and when I wake up, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can't go back to sleep. 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, can't go back to sleep. I've been doing that for about, like I said, at least 6 days that I've documented, but probably a little longer. It's just when I recognized I was doing it, and I did that before, and I realize now, something that I just learned, that every time this happens, we are going through a Mercury retro shade. I knew about the retrograde. The retrograde starts tomorrow, February 16th. Check your local times for when the Mercury retrograde happens in your area, if you're that interested in it. But the retro shade is the 2 weeks prior to the retrograde and the 2 weeks after, where Mercury seems to travel back on the path that it was on before the retrograde started. And the retrograde, if you don't know what it is, basically it appears as if Mercury is traveling backwards. And a lot of people get fucked up about the Mercury retrograde. Y'all panic. In which it really throws me that I see such panic. Now I'm gonna be honest, certain things get a little off, during the retrograde period. But if you really think about your life, things could be a little bit off any time of the year. Any time of the year, things could be off. So, but during the Mercury retrograde period, it's supposed to be intensified. Sometimes things could seem to be going in reverse. Sometimes emotions could be intensified. And for me, like I said, I like to look at the retrograde period as a moment of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Looking back, 2020 perspective, that, hindsight. I like to do that, to see what things that I've been affected by, which is what made me take notice of this sleep pattern that I'm doing. And that's how I identified that we've been in this Mercury retro shade for the past couple weeks. And maybe that's why my sleep habits have been so off. So during this time period, I take a conscious effort to try to negate whatever science says is supposed to happen, during this retrograde period, because I believe that you have total control over your life. Not total control, but you have control over a lot of things in your life. So like for me being a Gemini, it says that for Mercury retrograde, I will speak out of pocket, tend to talk a lot, tend to speak on issues that I haven't researched. What else to say? I was going to be very judgmental. I'm always judgmental. So I'm going to intensify my judgmental behavior at this point. But things like that, that's the things that they say for Gemini that's born with the my Gemini is in Mercury, since Mercury controls the house, whatever. So let's get to this thing. I've been talking about this, but basically those are the things that I should be effective with this time. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort to research things that I speak on. That's why I said I just learned about the Mercury retrograde. I'm trying to be mindful of the words that I use, so I won't be even more judgmental than I already am. I'm a YouTube blogger that does TV show reviews. I do book reviews, movie reviews. I talk about people. That's what I do on my YouTube channel. I talk about fictitious people, but sometimes I may talk about the actors and actresses that are actually on the show as well. So I can be judgmental, and most of the times it is very intentional for me to be judgmental in this case. So, but in this particular case, I want to make sure I choose my words carefully. So I want to seem to be, I don't want to appear to be judgmental without thought, with just saying something out the side of my neck. I need to be careful with my words, not necessarily be politically correct, because I'm not all the damn time. This is why I'm twisted on Twisted Guidance Tarot, and I'm twisted on my Twisted Life TV, because of the way I think. My process is totally different than most people. I just have to be, for me, doing this Mercury retrograde, I just make sure that I'm taking care of the words that I'm using. I'm working on my throat chakra to help me vocalize. It's like right now, I'm trying to make sure I'm saying the right words, to vocalize with coherently, clearly, so that way I can be understood, and also to not be dismissive of other people's opinions. There we go. All right. Boy, that's 8 minutes at a time. I was not going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about it anyway. That's all right. If y'all still watching, I appreciate y'all for sticking here with me. Now, when I started this positive affirmation journey, I want to say probably back in October, I started off with a hair journey. We haven't did a hair check in a long time. We used my tarot, Wisdom of the Natural Hair Oracle deck. And I said this, your hair can be reflective of what you're going through at the time. If your hair is pulled back pretty tight, you probably think you're trying to be more in control of who you are. If you're just letting your hair flow freely, you're in a free-spirited state of mind. Even with locks, depending on how your locks are styled, you can be in a free state of mind. You can have your hair styled because you're trying to seem more regal and poised and put together. And like with me, you got my hair pulled back, looking like I'm in control, but my bun is a mess. Same place I was in when I first did the affirmation video. So we're going to do a hair check today with the Oracle card first off, and then we're going to try to get to some positive stuff. I already shuffled this deck. It's inside the box here. So I'm just like thumbing through right now to see exactly what I'm pulling out. All right. I keep getting this card. From the roots to the tip. This was my my Oracle card of the day just a couple days ago. From the roots to the tip. That's one thing that I've been working on with my hair, is the tips of my hair have been very brittle, very dry. And a lot of times people put products in their hair to mask the problem instead of working on what's inside of us that needs to come out through our roots. So, saying that, like, you are what you eat, you are what you drink, and a lot of times the state of your hair could be based on what you're putting in your body, not necessarily what you're putting on your hair. So instead of going out buying hundreds of products to go, moisturize your hair, how about drinking some water, eating some fresh fruits and vegetables, decreasing the amount of red meat that you're having in your system, and it'll help your hair from the inside out, from the roots to the tip. Just like a tree, sometimes it needs trimming. Same thing with the hair. And in addition to, not just speaking of hair, well, in this case we're using hair as in the conversation, but it's really a metaphor for life. Sometimes you need to trim off the fat, or trim off things in your life in order for you to continuously grow. You have to keep adding new things into your life, more knowledge, more positive friends, or more people who are working towards goals and dreams, and not just talking about them only, or not always being negative about the goals and dreams that you may have, or who don't have any goals and dreams to themselves. Sometimes you have to trim those people out of your life, or trim back the fat, trim back the leaves, in order for your branches to continue to grow, for your hair to continue to grow. Trees, they exist for thousands of years, hundreds of years, until somebody chops them down or cuts them down. I had to turn the corner, and this person was going really, really crazy. So you have to keep the bugs out. If you ever played the game The Sims, on The Sims 2, which was my favorite version of it, I love to grow plants. I love to get a garden. I love to grow a tree. And the most difficult task is producing healthy fruit from that tree and keeping it from being infested with bugs. So you got to go out there and spray, which my garden I had back in St. Louis, I didn't use any pesticides. We just kept it watered. We kept the soil tilled. We kept the weeds from it to help keep the pests and everything out of it. We planted certain plants around us, like I say, surrounding ourselves with certain friends and people and mentors and guides to help us grow better. So that's what I did. I planted certain plants, like I put onions around here to keep out the rodents. I put lavender and sage over here to keep the mosquitoes down. It's certain things that you can plant around your garden. You can put marigolds on one end to keep the tomato worms out. A lot of things you can do in your garden. So there's certain things that you want to plant around you as a person, as a physical body, to keep you are your garden. You are your garden to keep you growing. You have to water it. Our bodies are made up of 75% water. And a lot of times when we go through struggles in life, dry moments, dry periods, brittle situations, is what I like to call the tips of my heart right now, it's because we're depleted of water. Even our mental state, sometimes we could be so exhausted, so tired, so exhausted and so tired and so angry and upset, and we just simply dehydrated. You wouldn't think it's that simple, but you could just be simply dehydrated. And back in the day, they used water for power. They used water to generate energy. And that's the same thing that we could use in our own bodies, is to help generate energy within us. It's water. Now, I live in Florida, Orlando. I don't know if the rest of the Florida is like this, but in Orlando, which is one reason that I really want to move, something ain't right with the water here. You could drive down Sand Lake Road here and go by the water division, and the water stinks. It smells like the sewer department. Every person not every person, but majority of the properties that I go around, I see they have signs in the yard saying don't drink the water. The grass is being watered with reclaimed water. The irrigation systems have reclaimed water, and to my understanding, I haven't researched it, but to my understanding, the reclaimed water is recycled water in your house. When you flush, it gets recycled through the system, and they reuse it in your stuff like that. You know, that's my mindset of what reclaimed water is. This unused water that people don't use when you're running your bath water, or you turn on the sink and the water goes down the drain, but you're not really using it. That's when I'm getting my mind what reclaimed water is. See, this is me right now talking, and I haven't researched what this reclaimed water is. But something in this water stinks to me. No matter where we go in Orlando, the water stinks. If somebody at a restaurant gave me a glass of water, I could clearly tell if it's straight from the tap or not, because it stinks. And I refuse to drink the water. So I used to have a garden in St. Louis. We used to drink out the water hose in St. Louis. I'll be dang gone if I do it here. No ma'am, Pam, not here. I got to be mindful of what I'm putting in my body, and I don't want to put no contaminated water in my system. So I have been drinking bottled water forever. We got filtered water here. I got a Brita filter pitcher in my refrigerator, but my mama keep overfilling the pitcher. She overfills it, so when you turn on the nozzle, the water goes down around the filter instead of through the filter. No, you got to be mindful of the people that you have around you that don't care about your process. Her mindset is that, it's going through the filter. It's not going through the filter. It's going around it. And I'm like, I have visually showed her 4 times. When you overfill it and then you turn it on, all that water that's not gone through the filter just drops around the filter itself instead of going through it. And now you have contaminated water or unfiltered water mixed in with your good water, which sometimes what people add to our lives. They don't care about your process, so they just gonna do what's good for them instead of what's good for you, and it could be harming you. Ever since I stopped drinking, I try to stop cooking with unfiltered water here. My health has gotten better. My health was going down the toilet once I moved to Orlando, and we're supposed to be doing a read here. But I'm just saying, you got to be mindful of what you put into your life. And during this Mercury retrograde period, take that time to look at what you're putting into your life, what you're putting into your body, what you're putting into your mind. And see, can I go around? I don't know what they're doing. Yes, we shall go around. I don't know what's going on down here, but we got to go around. Because I got to be at work in 8 minutes. And these people not doing the speed limit on the highway. All right, sir. It was you. You was holding up in the old crowd. Okay. So, you just got to be mindful of what you're putting into your body, what you're putting into your mind, what you're feeding to your what energy you're bringing in, you're taking into your body. I'm confused right now, y'all, because I'm driving. And I'll tell you, if y'all watch my other channel, y'all realize I got road rage. And people in Orlando, the way that they drive, baby. Okay, so I'm going to try to get onto this tarot card reading because I'm almost at work. My decks that I have with me today, I think I got my Happy Tarot, which they're very lovely, bubbly, colorful cards. And I got my Everyday Witch Oracle cards. Yes. I don't think I shuffled these. And so this is going to be a quick reading because I'm only 15 minutes from my job right now. And I've already talked 19 minutes on this video. So I didn't mean for this to be this long, y'all. But I think that message was meant to be heard. That message was meant to be heard. Look at the bottom of this card. Listening. listening to wisdom. I like to, listening to wisdom, hearing the messages that are there for you. It's opening up your heart, your mind, your ears to receive the message that you may not be ready to hear. I love that. I love this card. This card is one of the reasons why I bought this deck. Listening to wisdom. And sometimes, y'all, the wisdom could just be inside of you. We're not dummies. We're not dumb. We're very smart. The human race is very smart. We have ways to access information. And there are things that we have learned over time, either through school or just through life. And we may not always apply the knowledge that we have to our situations, but it does not mean that we don't have that knowledge to use. So sometimes we may just need to tap into our own inner wisdom and say, okay, girl, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do, sir. This is I already know what needs to be done. And as far as like tapping into our own energy, following our own heart, nurturing our own bodies, our own minds, looking at things in hindsight with clarity, with a new perspective, to see how we can affect positive growth in our own lives. Give into passion. These cards here they just radiate with me. Give into passion. I know Valentine's Day was yesterday. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers of the world if I didn't say it to you. But in this particular instance, when I'm speaking of giving into passion, there are things in life that we are very passionate about. And we could be just watching other people fulfill that passion. And we're sitting back saying, dang, I wish I could do that. This is the time for you to start. Why not start now? Stop wishing on it and do it. I think I just mentioned it before. Sometimes we surround ourselves with people who talk a good game, who always talk about what they're going to do and wish they could do and how they're going to do it, but they never make the moves to do it. And a lot of times I'm that person myself. I have a lot of dreams and a lot of goals and a lot of projects that I start and I just don't bring to completion. And then I see other people doing it and I'm like, how the fuck they do that? Well, they doing it because they are giving into their passion. And I'm not. I overthink, which is one of the things that happens in the Mercury retrograde and intensifies for me. I tend to overthink it, and then in overthinking, I start finding all the things that could go wrong, and I harp on that. So it's to prevent them from going wrong. What I do, I stop giving into my passion. But what do I need to do? I just need to let it go. I need to go with the flow. Just take it one day at a time. Continuously feed my mind and feed my body with nutritious information, with good energy to help me expand and grow as a person. And whatever dream or passion that I have, go with the flow. Go with the flow. That's I mean, how I could be no more. It can't be no more hit than that. You know, just hit on the head with that. What am I doing here? Is these tarot cards? Where are the tarot? Oh, I was looking for the tarot cards. This is why you should tarot and drive, y'all. I don't know how well these cards are gonna show on camera. I've never used them before. I just bought this little deck and I just thought they were so cute. I see them on somebody else's YouTube channel and I just thought they were so cute, so cute. So we finna see. Somebody was just leaning on their horn. I couldn't figure out why. I was like, am I in somebody's way? They might think I'm going too slow because they like to do 100 miles an hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. You either get people to don't drive the speed limit here, or drive too doggone fast. All right, let's see. What our happy tarot got us? The Nine of Swords. This is about fears. Your fears keeping you up at night. Remember I told you I had insomnia. Your doubts are keeping you up at night. Being afraid to face reality is what I see here as well. It's like in the middle of the night, one of the reasons why you can have insomnia because you're weary. You get on your Facebook and your internet and you try to distract yourself, and then you still see more stuff that make you weary. Like I said, I've been writing a book forever, and then I get on Facebook late at night because I can't sleep, and then I see all my friends tell me, "Oh, I'm on 1,000 pages," and I'm like, "How they do that?" And they wasn't even interested in writing or something like that. And then you start letting your fear and your doubt and your worry take over you in the middle of the night, and you got to cast it away. You really need to uncover your eyes and address and recognize whatever these fears are and face them head on. The Tower. The Tower. What I love about the Tower card, it is so confronting. The Tower card is so confronting. It is telling you that you need to shake some shit up. I've said this in many other videos before, that when I see the Tower card, what it means that something has to be completely destroyed in order for something new to be built. Or something has to be completely destroyed in order for the land that's underneath it to be cultivated again, to become healthy again. Back home when I was in St. Louis, there was this big plant that was next to my daughter's Boys and Girls Club. And that building stood there for years, and they couldn't tear it down because they thought it possibly had radioactive activity in there. But in order to heal the earth that's underneath it, it has to go. It has to go. So something has got to be completely destroyed, and it's going to be destructive, and it's going to be painful, and it may not be physical, it may just be mental, but you're going to have to break it down, tear down the walls, fall off the ledge, take a leap. Like, when I see this card sometimes, I don't know if the people are jumping because they're scared, or if they caused the tower to fall and now they're trying to escape to their freedom. So you have to look at this in two different ways. In this particular card, I'm seeing that these people have tumbled and set this tower on fire themselves. And the one reason why I say that, because you see the young man, he's wearing a cape. He's wearing a cape. He's tapping into his superpower, his super energy. He said, together with the support of his friend there, whether it's a loved one, we're going to burn it down, tear it down, and start it over. Sometimes people do that when we're talking about the hair. I don't know how I'm tying this all back in, but sometimes people do that and they cut their hair all off. And they go bald for a second, and then they let it grow back. It's something freeing, cleansing about shaving your head bald, or just changing your hairstyle altogether, dyeing it to a new color, just getting a new cut altogether. That's something totally unexpected. And when you get that cut, or when you shave it off, or you put that color, you feel this rush of emotion going through your body. Sometimes you may even cry, because you're like, this is not me, this is different, I don't know who this person is. Become that new person by tearing down the old. Like with me, myself, I have to tear down this procrastination energy that I have. Oh my gosh, I have to turn it down so I can step into who I am truly as a person. You have to tear it down. And a lot of us are sitting back. We are afraid to tear it down. We go back to our Nine of Swords. We're afraid to tear it down. We're afraid of this process. We're afraid of becoming who we truly can be. Sometimes the failure is not what we're afraid of. It's the success. And then we have the Six of Cups here. So sometimes I just laugh because it'd be just like, this is beautiful. After we tear it all down, oh, I just flipped the card over. I love the back of these cards too. After we tear it all down and we start to build again, we have that garden. We had to pull up all the dead plants, and we got to turn over the soil and add some nutrients into the soil so that way we'd be plentiful, pest free. This is what we get. We get the bountifulness of our actions, the work that we put in, the hard work and the trust, and we're able to cultivate again and grow again and gain new insight. And what's the word I want to use? Procure? Cultivate our dreams. Cultivate the things that we're passionate about. You know, we have that going with the flow. Because I said we're just going to let it go and just go with the flow. You recognize that flow in that card? It's all about water. Remember I said that we need the water? We need that water to help have a new sense of energy about ourselves. Child, this message here, and this is not exactly what I had expected to talk about when I got in this car today, but I love this little happy tarot bag. But you know what? It must be what is needed today. Our message for our day, as I'm almost at work, thank y'all for being here. Like I say, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. But our message of today, y'all, is just to nurture our bodies. Fill it with the nutrients and the information that we need so we can grow ourselves. Trim off the parts of our life that is not effective so that we can start sprouting new leaves and new branches. Thank y'all for being here. Talk to y'all again. Peace.